But welcome everybody. Be sure to hit the like button. Be sure to hit the subscribe button.
I remember in middle school when you felt self-conscious if you were the last one to go through puberty. That really went topsy-turvy, didn't it?
Sometimes the Hasbara, it's too much explaining yourself and it's too apologetic.
Be sure to hit the notifications bell.
I actually do believe Israel won't just bomb countless civilians.
Be sure to tweet this out. Be sure to put this up on your Facebook.
You have to be kind to people. Be kind to the guys in this mess in the first place.
Put this up on your Reddit.
Chile is a country.
Be sure to cut and paste, a link to this to go into your favorite Facebook chat group.
It's good to see so many normal people in here.
Now, spanking isn't just my deep, dark personal secret. It's America's deep, dark secret.
I've never seen it explained so simply anywhere.
Put this on WhatsApp. Put this on Telegram. Put this on your favorite messenger app.
Hello and welcome to the Untitled Anarchist Seagull channel. I'm your host, Untitled Anarchist Seagull called Elise. And, well, last night we looked at some shit. We got to see what how AI does when given the unenviable task of trying to make the case for Israel. And it turns out even AI doesn't really have a great deal of enthusiasm for that. Really kind of phones it in. We watched Sarah Hurwitz explain how she wants to come up with a new sort of filler for Jewish identity that gets rid of all the pesky values and conscience and stuff that has led so many young Jews to say that genocide is still bad. And then we watched a really shitty video on left anti-Semitism and basically how not to talk about it. How's everybody doing, chat? I think I have some interesting stuff for us tonight. I think we might start out with David Pac-Man, with the best non-clanker dark money can buy, apparently.
Here's my question. Did Gavin Newsom, the governor of California,
no, he didn't, the governor of California,
just pull off the move that Trump and Republicans wish they were smart enough to execute? Here's what...
Okay. I mean, here's the thing. Yeah, there are so many things that suck about this kind of clickbait content, but the fact that every single thing is presented as this earth-shattering thing. Oh, now Trump's never going to be able to recover from this one. And, he's been destroyed now. And it's like, no, it was actually nobody really noticed. It had no consequences. Bonsoir.
What happened and why it matters so much more than people realize. We talked previously on the show about Texas blowing up its congressional map by decree in order to get more seats for Republicans in 2026. They have been dragged to court, and a court has stepped in and said, this is unconstitutional. Now,
it's going to get appealed, though, so, okay, so, and Gavin Newsom did what?
While, as Texas was redrawing its maps, but before losing the legal challenge, Gavin Newsom in California did Proposition 50. And what Proposition 50 did is propose something similar to what Texas is doing, except the maps would not be drawn on racial lines, and it would be put critically to the vote of the people of California. And so...
okay, this isn't new, though. Well, it's clickbait. It shows up in people's feeds. That is massively hyped into people's feeds, and people who haven't actually seen what dissident media can be, what accountability journalism is actually being done and stuff like that, and real analysis, como dicen en Chile, quien no conoce a Dios, a cualquier santo le reza. Hey, Riveroon.
We will redo our maps only if the voters want it, and the voters did.
Okay, so...
But crucially, you might remember that initially the idea was there will be a trigger here. We will only do this if Texas does the same thing. If Texas decides we're not going to do our maps, California won't do their maps.
Okay. That seems shitty, but okay.
Okay, so far...
I mean, not that that's out of character for Gavin Newsom. He does a lot of shitty things.
That's the way it was all set up. The Texas seats were struck down, at least for now. And so when I reported on that to you, I said, I wonder now, do California's maps stay or go? Because they were contingent on Texas doing it.
Well, I mean, there isn't a final judgment yet. That can still fucking... That decision isn't necessarily going to stand. It's going to get appealed. I'm not sure whether this was federal court or state court, but one way or another, it is going to get appealed, and it isn't necessarily going to stand. So if they were already not going to do these maps, you know, if they already decide they're not doing it because it got struck down in a trial court, I mean, what's the fucking point?
Originally, but now California voters said we want it. So do the California maps stay or go? This is unbelievable.
I'm not hearing the unbelievable part. So far, everything has been quite believable.
California removed the trigger language from the final version of the bill. It's not there, okay? The condition that California...
Okay, but was that in the bill that people voted on, or...
California will only redraw if Texas does it, is gone from what voters actually approved.
Okay. So, still not... I mean, still not really unbelievable so far.
And Paul Mitchell, who worked... Not the Vidal Sassoon guy. Different...
I was about to make that fucking joke. Fuck you, David Pakman, for predicting me.
Paul Mitchell, who worked on the team that drafted the maps, posted to Twitter, quote, "Since everyone is asking, no, this," meaning the Texas...
Okay, it was federal court. I kind of thought it was. But I had not really paid a huge amount of attention, so I hadn't seen whether it was federal or state court. So it goes to the Fifth Circuit, and it goes to and the chances of the Fifth Circuit agreeing with the lower court here, I would not rate them.
Undoing their maps. This doesn't undo Proposition 50. The trigger language was removed in the legislative process as it was clear that Texas was redistricting. So even if their map is invalidated or postponed, the Prop 50 maps stay in place. So now we have to ask a very simple but a very...
So, I mean, it's still not sounding so much like something Gavin Newsom did as something people who voted for this proposition, which is not in itself news. I mean, what they did.
Interesting question. Is it possible, just consider this, is it possible that Gavin Newsom and his team suspected that the Texas maps wouldn't hold up legally?
I mean, it's entirely possible, because if you actually were to follow, you know, Supreme Court precedent and not take into account the fact that the current Supreme Court is just throwing it out the window a lot of the time, it was obvious that these shouldn't stand if precedent were followed. So no, it would not be some sort of, I mean, it wouldn't take a fucking clairvoyant to work out that they could be struck down. Of course, the thing is, lots of stuff gets struck down at the trial court level. That doesn't mean that the Fifth Circuit's going to agree.
Think about the sequence. Texas announces we've got this aggressive new map. Newsom says, great, we're going to do Prop 50.
Well, I mean, he's trying to give credit for, like, Newsom being Nostradamus here.
And see if our voters, if our residents want to do something similar. California prepares its changes to the maps, and then, because Texas did do the maps while Prop 50 was being lobbied for by those for and against it leading up to the election in November.
Okay.
California says, well, listen, they did their map, so we're going to remove the trigger language.
Okay, so I'm still not seeing what's so unbelievable about this, because it sounds like fairly predictable things happened all around.
Meaning that if the Texas maps are struck down in court, which happened, California
Provisionally. That isn't a final judgment.
still gets its extra seats, likely Democratic seats. If that is intentional, Gavin Newsom basically said, Texas, thank you for your service. We will take our seats now.
Like, I mean, he's trying to make Gavin Newsom a thing, and it is really actually kind of pathetic. Like, yeah, it's like, who could possibly see that an obviously unconstitutional redistricting map was going to get struck down at the trial court level? Wow, I mean, that's wild. So the thing that most people would have predicted, who know something about this, who know anything at all about this, because one of the things, I mean, I had the misfortune of taking con law, so that you don't strictly have to, though of course you can, and you develop much greater disrespect for the US Constitution when you study it in depth. But here's the thing, it was a fucking redistricting plan along racial lines, and one thing that the Supreme Court and the lower courts have long been very clear on is that you're not allowed to do that. So that would not be a shock. Anyone applying existing precedent, you know, and not trying to just distort the shit out of it, would come to that result. So no, this isn't some sort of fucking Nostradamus coup here.
Was Gavin Newsom actually playing the kind of 4D chess that...
No, this isn't 4D chess. This 4D chess has really just taken a beating in terms of being a metaphor, because this is like somebody played e4. Holy shit! They seem to they seem to have anticipated that their opponent was going to play e5. Like, this, none of this is at the least bit surprising.
MAGA constantly insists Trump is playing, but never is actually playing. Because right now, the scoreboard...
Except I also hear liberals insisting that. I hear liberals saying... I mean, one of the arguments against people, like, resisting the fucking ethnic cleansing raids has been... Well, see, what Trump actually wants to do, he wants you to resist them. He wants you to resist them, so he'll have a pretext to do the violence he's already doing. And, I mean, so... And I remember, like, going back a few years, it was also... See, Nazis, they have these rallies because they want to get their asses kicked. They're the only people in the world who really like getting their asses kicked. So if you kick their asses, that means they won, because they're playing four-dimensional chess. I mean, yes, I mean, like, Trump fans will also say this kind of shit, you know, in order to cope. Yeah, well, I mean, he has a crush on Newsom because Dem donors have a crush on Newsom, and he takes money from Dem donors. He's the kind of guy that they think we should have all over the internet. Which, I mean, would be a great way to get people to spend more time in the out-of-doors and offline. David Pac-Man would be an amazing scream time self-limiter.
Reads, Texas seats demolished in court.
Not demolished. We don't know. This is one of the things I really hate about this sort of thing. Because what he's doing here is, if people are watching this and believe him, they will think that that's the end of it for the Texas, you know, for this Texas districting map. Or whatever it is that lost in a trial court at the district court level this week. And they'll think, oh, there's not, okay, we don't need to do anything, the court sorted it. And that's not how any of it fucking works. You gotta, I mean, if you're, like, even just not completely dishonest and ignorant, you've got to tell your viewers that actually the Fifth Circuit could turn this around completely, and then there's still the fucking Supreme Court, who could say, actually, we really kind of like what Texas did here. So God, shut the fuck up, David Pac-Man.
Subject to appeal. Republicans...
Oh, thank you for saying destroyed, subject to appeal. What the fuck? That sounds like not destroyed, actually.
Scrambling to defend an indefensible map in Texas.
I don't think they're necessarily scrambling. I think they know that the higher this, the higher court this gets kicked to, the better a chance they have of winning. And the Fifth Circuit is one of the most reactionary courts of appeals in the U.S. and has long been so. So I would say they would be right to have more confidence in the Fifth Circuit than they do in some district judge.
Trump furious and powerless, and California Democrats quietly securing.
Quietly? Really? I mean, there's been fanfare going back months on this thing. What's quiet about it?
More representation in the context of the upcoming 2026 midterms, with Gavin Newsom walking away with an incredible win. So this...
Why does it have to be just Gavin Newsom's fucking win?
This is either...
I mean, other than that, the Dem donors have decided that despite the fact that he polls like shit, though he does poll better than pretty much any Democrat who is being considered as a possible presidential hopeful, which doesn't say anything because you're starting out at like 20%. That's what it tops off at. They are absolutely fucking horny for this asshole, and that should make us all actually very concerned. That's like the fact that that's the guy who poses, the guy who does photo ops stealing homeless people's shit, the guy who thinks that Charlie Kirk's Nazi shit is such a great idea, massive transphobe, big white supremacist, totally in the pocket of property developing scumbags. Like, the fact that that's the guy that is clearly being just anointed here actually ought to make people a bit queasy. Yeah, he's totally trying to turn this into some sort of huge thing and make it into this great, amazing feat by fucking Gavin Newsom, who realized that courts often apply precedent.
The most incredible outmaneuvering of the Republican Party in a way that Trump could never do.
What outmaneuvering?
Like the master stroke of the year.
I mean, like, literally, what do you mean that Donald Trump could never do? Like, literally, this is the thing. The whole point of this is that this is the thing Republicans are doing all over the place. Yeah, exactly, Adria. That's what I said. Like, I mean, this isn't a maneuver that the Republicans could never pull off. They pulled it off in Ohio. And they pulled it off in the most just scumbagical way possible. We had a referendum on the gerrymandering here, like, last year. And, because there was a proposal to ban gerrymandering. And so what the pro-gerrymandering people did with a huge amount of out-of-state cash that was put in is they put up they basically claimed that their side was banning gerrymandering. So both sides were claiming to ban gerrymandering. They confused the shit out of everybody, and so it narrowly failed. I mean, it is like, this isn't something that they can't pull off. It is literally the thing they've been pulling off fairly successfully for a very long time.
Or just a coincidence that really hurts Republicans and benefits Democrats by chance.
I mean, I don't think it benefits Democrats by chance or that it hurts Republicans by chance, but it's also just not much of a coincidence. There was a ballot measure, it passed. There was redistricting that was just flagrantly unconstitutional if you follow the existing precedents on the subject, and it failed in the trial court, though fuck knows what the Fifth Circuit or the Supreme Court will do with it. Like, where's the amazing... where is the surprise part come in? Where's the fucking shock come in here? Jesus. So... So that was a thing we just watched. God, I mean, like, DNC slop content is just wild. 3.4 million subscribers listen to this shit and are impressed with it. Like, that just tells me that they're not reading anything other than stuff coming from the, like, same slop mills. But I thought, speaking of slop mills, we might have a look at Asmund Goldfish, who is apparently having a very normal one again. This is a video called "This is Serious, and I Must Address This Now." And it features a thumbnail with Kyle Kulinski of Secular Talk, who apparently is saying, and I quote, "Asmund Gold is the dumbest person. This is serious." I mean, I guess the ableism is serious. That kind of sucks. But, I mean, so we're going to have a look at Asmund Goldfish.
This guy crashed out about, I guess this is like a clip that I did.
Okay. Fucking Rasputin-looking motherfucker with a dead rat that he just kept in his room. And this guy is apparently one of the biggest streamers. If not the biggest. It's like... This... I mean, the amount of fucking algorithmic boosting that is being thrown at such just absolute scumbags is deeply concerning.
I am apparently the dumbest person to him.
One of the things that's been driving me crazy more and more lately is when you have people who have large audiences who don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
Well, I mean, that's not... It's like... It's funny to talk about that like it's some sort of individualized phenomenon rather than like literally what the ruling class is flooding internet media with.
But they're just desperate to start giving their political takes and opinions.
Okay.
Because...
Yeah, he's taking that one on board. Yeah, okay, that's fair enough. It's true. I did once say that Magnus Hirschfeld's archive of research on trans people was burned by the Nazis because it was written in Jewish, so I guess that is fair.
Look, you do a massive disservice. You have this giant audience of people who follow you, and if you're out there...
The disservice is disagreeing.
No, the disservice is that you don't fucking know anything.
Spreading false notions of politics. That's unacceptable. That's unacceptable. The best example of this is fucking Joe Rogan, who doesn't know his ass from his elbow, but he's out there. He was at the inauguration. He gave Trump a softball interview. He gave J.D. Vance a softball interview. Fucking
Didn't give you an interview. I can see why you're mad.
Yeah, I'm sure that's why he's mad. I mean, that's all Kyle... I mean, I don't really follow Kyle Kulinski, but I'm sure that's all that Kyle Kulinski ever wanted was a fucking interview with Joe Rogan. So he could just be, like, have that motherfucker waxing incoherent at him, saying shit that just doesn't make any sense for an hour or whatever.
Stone massages every billionaire in the country on his show regularly, but then he'll go on his show and... So, who, me, bro? I'm just like...
Like, all he's got is, oh, you're just salty because you want to talk to Joe Rogan. And it's like... This guy has how many fucking viewers? How many subs does this guy have? And this is all he can do? This is all he can cut? 4.2 fucking million! More than David Pac-Man.
Interest. I'm like, I'm not right, I'm not left, I'm sort of above the fray.
And somebody in the chat is telling Asmund Goldfish that actually Kyle Kulinski was on Joe Rogan. I don't know if this is true or not, but if it is true, I mean, that's actually kind of hilarious.
And stuff, like, whatever. He tries to do this enlightened centrist bit. Meanwhile, he's like,
I thought this was about me. Let's get to the part about me.
Okay. No, not at all self-centered.
On the
don't remind people that there are people who actually are more prominent than me.
Trump train, quite literally. So, he's a great example of it. But the other one is Asmund Gold. Asmund Gold, he's been getting more and more political. And I hear this, I just want to...
Getting political is an interesting way to say it. I mean, he's just been saying just outright Nazi shit. And he does it in the most ignorant way. Like, he makes Tim Pool look like a fucking intellectual. He makes Tim Pool look literate.
My nuts in a waffle iron when I hear this shit. Because, like, what are you saying? What are you saying? You know you don't know what you're talking about.
I don't think he does know that he doesn't know. I mean, I think that he probably does not realize it and also probably doesn't care.
You know you don't know what you're talking about.
Great.
But he does it anyway. So here he is giving his theory.
Okay, so here, all right, here we go. This is me talking. All right, let's find out.
Oh, finally! Oh, he wants to watch him. He wants to watch himself talking. Stop all these other people talking in my reaction video. I want to react to me talking.
About how, you know, the Democrats.
Yes.
They've been so radicalized that the Republicans are the poor put upon Republicans. They're just like reacting to what the insane Democrats are doing. I'm not kidding. That's his actual argument. Let's watch.
Okay, this is something apparently to do with the absolutely bullshit claim that the BBC, which has been just airing far-right propaganda for years, I mean, they were really one of the major boosters of Brexit. They were one of the major boosters of Nigel Farage. Like, when that motherfucker didn't even have a single seat in Parliament, he was guaranteed a seat on Question Time. Oh, he has been on Rogaine. So, like, wow, just such a perfect example of Aspen Goldfish not knowing what the fuck he's talking about. But, okay, but so now there's a claim that they have a left-wing bias. Just recently, the Good Law Project, which is a great organization, I have to say, doing, like, legal challenges, in particular in support of trans people, but that's not all they do. But they commissioned a survey of trans people in Britain. Like, probably the largest survey of its kind, certainly in Britain, but, I mean, maybe even worldwide. That I'm not sure. It was I mean, considering the percentage of the population, the sample size was quite large and diverse. And they had YouGov run this thing. They commissioned it from them. And it showed that trans people are absolutely fucking terrified in Britain right now. And if you know anything about what the government and the media and the opposition, such as it is, you know, what all of them are saying and doing to trans people at the moment, you can see why they would be fucking scared shitless. I mean, so Julian Mom, KC of the Good Law Project, he offered the BBC an exclusive on this poll, which is, you know, I mean, it should qualify as big news when you've got a specific marginalized community absolutely just fucking scared shitless to just live in their country that they're from. And the BBC turned them down, and to my knowledge, I have not actually seen any mainstream coverage of the fucking poll at all. Actually, let me drop this link, because it would be good to spread this around, because people need to see. Answer survey. Okay, here we go. I'm dropping the link. I mean, I think the BBC might have not wanted to talk about it because they also asked trans people's opinions on media outlets, including, of course, the BBC, and trans people overwhelmingly said the BBC was hostile, which is putting it politely.
This is I think it is a unique Democrat problem. Now, when a Republican does something bad, here's the big difference, right? It's not that Republicans don't do anything bad, but when a Republican...
Oh, yeah, wow, I mean, that's so big of... It's not that they don't do anything bad, y'all.
Does something bad, everybody generally says, oh, okay, that's really bad. But the problem is that Democrats look to try to, you know, like, it's not that big of a deal, it doesn't matter that much, who cares?
Oh, now do you understand why I said this made me want to shove my nuts in a waffle iron?
I can't imagine anything making somebody want to do that, but I mean, you go on, Kyle. But I mean, yeah, it is complete, absolute fucking nonsense.
Argument. You know what? That I never saw it this way whenever I said it, but now that you say that...
Well, yeah, of course you didn't see it that way when you said it. Fucking, you were saying it at the time. You weren't watching it. Now you're watching it. You're watching somebody else watching it, and you're managing to actually, like, out-dickhead yourself.
You want to put your dick in a waffle iron. I completely agree with you. I actually was wrong. Yeah, I was totally wrong.
I mean, you were. Like, just as a matter of fucking fact.
Homie literally said,
yes,
when a Republican does something bad, other Republicans could be like, yeah, that's bad.
Yeah, generally. I think true. I think it's more true than for Democrats. I'm sure there's...
I mean, I would say it's not true for any of them, actually.
There's exceptions, but I think it's generally true. Yeah,
That might actually be the least true thing I've ever heard in my life. That is somehow the most false thing I've ever heard.
I mean, I think that's exaggerating. There are definitely falser things out there, but maybe he hasn't been exposed to them. But, I mean, his point is valid. I mean, that is an absolute bullshit thing.
So the argument is no. Got it.
Well, yeah, the argument is that what you said isn't true. The argument is that it takes like 5 seconds to think of examples to show that what you said isn't true.
Entire life.
Okay.
And I mean, that is not a matter of, like, I don't like the Democrats either. And I don't think that they actually, if this is the standard, they do not do well on it either. But to say that the Republicans are the ones who, like, will take responsibility when they do something horrible? When?
Bro.
Great argument.
Let me just tell, let's just go with Elon Musk. What did Elon do when he was running Doge? You guys all know this. How many times have I given you the list?
All right.
He cut pediatric cancer research. Not a single...
What's with the fucking eyebrows?
Republican came out and... Not a single fucking Republican came out and criticized him.
In fact, I mean, what happened, it was actually kind of classic. Because these assholes were coming out at town hall meetings all over the place. These orchestrated town hall meetings trying to defend this stuff. And no matter how right-wing the crowd was, they weren't having it. And then so they decided to stop having town hall meetings.
For cutting child cancer research.
Has it ever occurred to you that maybe the research was done in a way that was bad?
Like, if it didn't occur to fucking Doge to make that case. But no, I'd love to hear Asmongold explain to us his standards on cancer research. Go on, knock yourself out. Asgold.
Like, every time that people say something like this.
Like, also, remember, it's fucking teenage fascists who are just randomly cutting shit. So, I don't actually think they were qualified to decide whether it was being done well, either. But, I mean, I'm sure Asgold, I like Asgold, that's a great name. I think I will have to adopt that. Like, I can't think of anything. I would love to, no, please get into it, Asgold, actually. No, given the purpose of this, grab some of the studies that those researchers were publishing and read them. We'll do a close reading and tell us what you find fault with. I think we'd all benefit from the experience of watching it.
The implication is that, oh, they're curing cancer or something like that.
Well, I mean, trying to, or at least they were until motherfuckers cut their funding.
Bullshit, yeah. And also on
well, what are you saying, that they weren't? Are you saying that that they weren't? That they were trying to, like, give kids cancer? Like, maybe you should actually think about what you say before you say it.
On top of that, yeah, just because you're doing research doesn't mean that it's a good allocation of government money.
Okay, so you're saying, for a second ago, he was saying that they weren't doing cancer research well, which is great because I always wondered what Asgold thought about cancer research and how to do it. Now he's just jumped away from that, a little fucking hot potato, and he's just saying that it's just not a good use of funds.
What if the research that you're doing is problematic?
Oh, okay, so it's problematic. You gonna tell us why it's problematic, Asgold? What? I mean, go on, tell us how it's problematic.
The research is not funded properly.
Okay, so you're saying that you have a problem with the funding model. Let's get into it. Are you gonna... Yeah, like, he's just pulling this shit out of his ass.
What if you're getting too much money?
Like, first of all, what do you mean getting too much money? Honestly, considering the amount of money that is spent on genocide in this country, I don't think there's such a thing as fucking pediatric cancer research getting too much money. As long as fucking Elon Musk is being subsidized by the government to the tune of, like, the entire operating budget of SpaceX, practically, I don't think anything else can be said to be getting too much money. Okay, but tell us, how would you adjust the research budget for pediatric cancer research?
For all of these questions, it's like basically
maybe you should like actually look into those questions before you just throw them out there rhetorically as if they were some sort of a takedown argument.
doing cancer research is not an immediate and infinite get out of jail free card.
A get out of jail free card?
From any degree of accountability.
Okay, so you're saying you don't like the transparency requirements for the cancer research funding. Okay, so tell us how you would change the transparency requirements.
And any amount of government oversight.
Well, this isn't government oversight. This is literally just taking away their money. Money that had already been allocated to them.
What a crazy thing to say.
Really? See, because, I mean, where I'm sitting, that's not actually the wildest thing I've heard in the past 10 minutes.
But it's for cancer kids.
Well, yes, it is. Yeah, like, maybe that's, maybe we should be researching how, I mean, maybe it's actually kind of fucked up that you have kids getting cancer and then dying of it. Maybe that actually sucks, and it would be good if we could figure out how to stop that happening. Like, this fucking guy. This guy is just fucking, like, 4 million viewers. 4 million viewers this motherfucker has. And this is the sort of shit, I mean, subs. And this is the sort of thing, this is all he does. He hasn't offered any argument here. He has not provided any analysis. He's just coming up with rhetorical questions that could be easily answered if he bothered to. And that's it? Jesus.
Okay, great emotional argument.
Wow, yeah, because it's illogical to want there to be research on how to treat cancer in children, apparently.
We love that. It's optics? Yeah, it's just optics.
Yeah, I mean, I will agree. The optics of cutting the funding for pediatric cancer research do suck shit. That's why all of the people he's out here standing have thought the better of trying to defend it. Did he just find out what the word pediatric means? Adria asks, and it wouldn't be surprising. And in his chat, somebody says, cancer research is a hoax.
It's just the way that it sounds.
Well, yeah, because, I mean, the underlying... This is very Sarah Hurwitz now. Because, you know, the underlying concept of cutting the funding to help prevent and treat cancer in children, I mean, that's just obviously such a great idea, which is why only Askgold has ever considered, like, trying to publicly come out in defense of it. But, I mean, it's just when you say the words that are just literally a flat description of the thing that 4 million people watch this motherfucker.
Because the idea of, oh my god, he's cutting research for cancer kids.
Yeah, I mean, that does suck.
Oh no! That sounds bad.
Okay, well, explain why it is good then. That is literally the absolute bare minimum. If you're going to take on the fucking challenge of defending this, which even the people who did it don't seem to have come up with something in defense of it, because I feel like I would have seen it if like Trump had come out or one of his fucking handlers had come out and tried to give a full-throated defense of that decision. I feel like I would have heard about it even without bothering to look for it, because everybody would have been tearing it to shreds.
By the way, there was one of those things was literally a cure that worked.
Oh.
Wow, see, okay, so let's hear your argument. You were just explaining how that... You were just explaining how maybe they weren't researching it according to Ask Old best practices.
Oh, okay. So we had a cure. Let's get this straight. We had a cure for cancer. We almost had it, but Donald Trump and Elon Musk turned it off.
Yes, basically. I mean, at least something that potentially could have been one.
Okay.
I mean, that is actually, I remember reading that as well. So, yeah, I mean, like, literally, all he's doing is he's just repeating the things people are saying and acting like that is an argument against them.
Sure. I'm not kidding. It was a gene editing thing that they used to stop leukemia. They tried it on somebody, it worked, he cut the fucking funding.
Okay.
Okay. See, this is where, like, I'm sitting here thinking, as a person who has just come out in front of however many thousand people were watching this live, come out in favor of cutting the funding for research into pediatric cancers, this is where I might go and actually look this up. And just make sure that I haven't just taken a massive fucking L in front of... I mean, but of course the thing is, there is an audience self-selection thing going on here. Because the people... Oh wow, somebody in his chat knows what gene editing thing he's talking about. CRISPR. Yeah, well, that is the thing. That is literally the thing. But, yeah... the people who actually have thought this through enough to know just what bullshit this is, stop watching. And you just end up with an audience of people who either are too ignorant and incurious to know what bullshit is being spewed at them, or people who don't give a shit because they will believe anything that justifies them doing the things that they want to do anyway.
So it worked on one person. Which, again, I'm not even...
Well, yeah, that's the thing. Sometimes you start out and it works in one case, and then you want to check it out and make sure that it works in all sorts of other cases. That's how research works. That's a very promising result.
Sure whether this is true. I don't have that. I don't have it in front of me. I don't remember.
Well, I wonder, wouldn't it be wild, Askold, if that thing that's in front of you with the keyboard on it, if you could just type stuff in there, like type pediatric cancer research Doge, and you could get all the information in the world at your fingertips, and it could explain all this stuff to you. Wouldn't that be wild? I don't have it in front of me. You have a fucking computer. You can get it in front of you real quick.
This happening.
Hey, Badger.
By the way. But, like, okay, so we have one person it happened to.
Yeah. I mean, doesn't that sound good, though? If you had one... I mean, we've had 0 people who something like this has worked on previously. If you got one person who it actually worked on, wouldn't you want to know whether it would work on other people?
Leukemia is cancer? Yeah, it's blood cancer.
Wow, he knows what leukemia is, kind of.
National...
Oh, I see. We got link spam. Hello, link spam. Fuck off. See, I have to say, I still kind of... These link spammers who want to tell you about how to get, like, views and stuff, I feel like if they knew how to do that, they probably wouldn't be spamming my channel.
Weather Service, which literally led to deaths. It led to deaths. There was a...
Yeah, what, is he saying what? Because he doesn't know there's a National Weather Service? Or because he doesn't know that a whole bunch of people died from in a tornado that there was no warning about, because the people who were in charge of warning people about it got fired because of this shit? Like, and living in a place that is one of the, like, more tornadic parts of the country, I take that a little bit personally. Like, we had one touched down by Greater Cincinnati, Northern Kentucky International Airport a few months ago. No sirens went off. That is fucking unheard of. that a tornado would touch down and no sirens went off. No warnings. Nobody knew it was going, and nobody was notified until it had already happened.
A late warning that went out because he cut the National Weather Service, and you have these...
Wait, I mean, okay, what's coming next? Is he going to say maybe tornadoes killing people is good? Or is he going to say maybe National Weather Service predicting tornadoes is bad?
Kids at a Christian sleepaway camp who died. He cut...
Yeah. I mean, okay, so that's funny, is it, Askold? The kids dying because they didn't get the proper warning that they would have gotten if the NWS had been working the way it had been for years and years and years until then.
Oh, fuck.
Is he saying, oh, fuck, because he realizes now he has to defend this? You know, here's a pro tip, Askold. You don't have to defend things that suck.
Okay. I live in Texas.
So, okay, so what, are we supposed to be, we're supposed to be okay with this because theoretically Askold won't get a warning either? Because I can see that argument.
Meteorologists say the National Weather Service did its job in Texas.
Yeah. It predicted it, but they didn't warn anyone. It's not a matter of... Okay, so that's not the issue. Okay, let me just look this up. Meteorologists say National Weather Service did its job in Texas. Pulling that up. I'm just reading this thing. So... I mean, it's interesting that this article does not quote any... It doesn't actually have any meteorologists going on the record to say that this wasn't a problem. Oh no, actually, here we go. One of the people who actually went on record says, clearly there was a breakdown between when the warning was issued and how people got it, and I think that's really what has to be talked about. Yeah, I mean, that's the problem. That people did not actually get warned adequately, even if they did predict it. Yeah, I mean, if he goes on to read this, some of the first changes made at NOAA because of Doge cuts were weather balloon launches across the country being reduced or eliminated altogether, but the balloons that did deploy this week, including one sent up over Texas on Thursday, which showed a saturated atmosphere with slow-moving winds giving a heads-up of possible extreme rainfall, provided valuable information that helped inform the forecast. So this article actually talks about how the thing that did allow at least some of... I've linked the article in chat. The thing that they defunded, yeah, was... this would have been worse if those funding cuts had actually hit in Texas at the time. Because one of the things they were using was weather balloons, and Texas was lucky enough that the weather balloon that went up over them actually didn't get cut. If he actually reads the fucking article...
Doge cut hundreds of jobs at the NWS, but experts who spoke to Wired says the agency accurately predicted the state's weekend flood risk. These are meteorologists.
None of whom went on record. Like, they aren't named. The ones who are named actually had pretty harsh things to say. Oh, no, here we got one who's named. But the thing is, there's a difference between predicting something and making sure people actually see it.
If you don't know, that's a weather wizard. Those are people that understand the weather.
Wow. That's another word we now know Ask Old knows. I mean, it's fascinating how now he suddenly he realized that his computer can be used to search for information.
Okay. What would you look at that?
No, yeah, do look at it. Read the whole thing. Read the part where it says that actually these cuts are killing people.
Look at that.
You got one article. Quite a few articles disagree with this one article, by the way.
Sounds like some specific... And this is the thing, right? You give a specific example, and it falls apart.
It didn't fall apart, though. You just didn't read the article.
Meals on Wheels.
Right.
He cut the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, which is the anti-scam police.
Good. They weren't doing their job. They obviously had no fucking idea what they were doing.
Well, I mean, so now he's... Well, I mean, the burden of proof this motherfucker is taking on is just Herculean. Now he's gonna tell us how better to, like, to police financial scams.
The scams have been through the fucking roof. So, yeah, wow. Let me...
I wonder if part of that is due to the fact that the fewer people are actually out there looking for them and trying to stop them.
Let me get this straight. Okay, so there's a bureau of people that are supposed to stop scams.
And a massively underfunded bureau to begin with.
And you want to keep them on payroll?
Well, yes, because of the scams. Like, I mean, admittedly, if I were Askold, I would probably feel that maybe scams should not be stopped, because, like, I mean, he is a scam, really, when you get down to it. But, like, as somebody who's actually been targeted by a scam, I actually kind of like the idea that maybe there might be people warning about them at the very least.
They sucked.
Republicans criticized any of these things. None of them. He fired 83,000 veterans. Nobody criticized it.
Oh no, you can't fire veterans anymore. Didn't you know that? We're not allowed...
What's the fuck's up with his eyebrows?
...allowed to fire veterans. Another emotional appeal.
He fired 250,000 government workers overall. Nobody fucking criticized.
Good. It should have been more.
Wow, I mean, this is just... It's really great to hear somebody who is so well informed explaining why every one of those jobs was actually something that was, like, unnecessary. And I will say... I will not take the burden of saying... I will not assume the burden of proof of saying that every single one of those jobs was one that ought to be being done, because I don't know offhand who all was included in that, and some of it might have been shit that sucked. But maybe there should have been some actual transparency in the process, though, at the very least. Not some fucking teenage Nazis just kind of cutting anything they wanted with no accountability.
When he cut USAID, cutting off malaria medication from going to people who need it, HIV medication...
I mean, and the fucked up thing about USAID is that it does do these things, but mostly it does these things so that the US can then threaten those countries with withdrawing that aid if they elect somebody that the US doesn't like. Sounds nice. Reading your shopping list, Varun.
Oh no. That's right. It's America's responsibility to pay for people that have HIV and AIDS in Africa.
Well, first of all, that's actually... Since the U.S. helped prevent African countries from actually making, just open sourcing the fucking HIV drugs that you need in order to survive with HIV, yeah, I would say the U.S. actually does have a responsibility there.
That's right. Oh, yeah.
People have been dying in droves.
Is he specifying in America or not? No, he's not. It's because...
Oh, no, he is not specifying because, I mean, the thing about USAID funds is they don't go to the U.S. And I will say, like, it turns out that actually it sucks when people die, and it isn't, like, the fact that they are of a different nationality doesn't suddenly make that better.
Because it's not happening in America. He's right that USAID...
Actually, a lot of disease-related death is happening in the U.S., and the CDC, and this actually started more than anything under Biden, but it's gotten worse under Trump, is not keeping any track of it. Like, insurance industry actuarial studies have found that working class mortality is up it continues to be up 40% over the pre-pandemic average. And you don't hear anything about that shit. Lots of fucking people are dying who shouldn't be.
Was funding the lives of a number of people outside of America.
Well, I mean, like, literally, that is... like, the entire justification for all the fucked up things USAID also does is the fact that they're also doing some things that are, you know, arguably or genuinely beneficial at the same time. And anyone who thinks that cutting USAID is going to mean that they're not going to do the fucked up things that the USAID is notorious for, clearly is not paying a lot of attention, because somebody will always be doing those things. They will just not be able to do them with quite the same cover necessarily.
It's absolutely true. And that's why a lot of people voted to get rid of it.
Nobody voted to get rid of it, though. I mean, like, literally, it was just like a couple of guys, a couple of assholes with nobody's permission, no accountability. Nobody actually had an opportunity to vote on whether to get rid of it or not.
It's because you have people here that are dying from lack of medical care.
Well, okay, so we're gonna talk about how that we should get rid of the insurance industry and have a national health service. Is that what you're going to do now, Asgold? Because I agree, that is a problem. That absolutely is a problem. So, like, let's get into it.
People here that don't have housing. And so
obviously he wants, you know, public housing and to ban landlordism so that people can only own houses that they're going to personally use.
Why is it that we are allocating money and resources to stopping HIV and AIDS in countries that are not our own?
In order to exercise soft power.
But we're not able to keep houses. You want to talk about veterans?
They're not able. I mean, it's just like literally not willing.
Why are there any homeless veterans?
Because there are landlords. Because the rent is too high. Because the minimum wage hasn't gone up in decades.
Where is the priority list that a veteran ever gets outranked by a person in Africa? That's not the place that I'd want to live in, I'll tell you that.
I mean, and he lives with a literal dead rat.
Crazy to me.
You fucking criticize it?
Of course, because I agree with it. Yeah.
That you're making. He started out by saying that that Kyle's point was just wrong. That obviously, right wingers criticize the bad things that other right wingers did, and here is like. You're literally doing the thing, Asgold. You're just saying, it's good. Cutting the pediatric cancer funding. Actually, that's good for reasons I'm not going to get into because I haven't given this any fucking thought.
Good call. W.
Your minds, and that's just Elon. I didn't even mention Trump.
Which, by the way, and also all of these examples here that he's given are policy decisions and not actual violence.
But they are actual violence. Policy decisions almost always do include a certain amount of violence. Either because you need violence to enforce them if they're not complied with, or they are inherently violent.
I was discussing things like Charlie Kirk and Jay Jones in the.
I mean, Charlie Kirk was killed by another fascist, so I don't know how that even fits in. And, I mean, his wife's over it, so I think we should also be over it at this point.
Clip. And so he's misinterpreted what I've said.
Well, no, he hasn't misinterpreted it. You said the thing, and you've confirmed that you're still saying the thing, and you're literally saying the thing he criticizes you for.
And he's even making an argument that doesn't even make sense in the context of what I said.
I mean, it would make sense if you understood things. Like, it is actually frightening that this guy is somebody whose opinion people cares about, because he just does not know anything.
So,
yeah, I mean, and this video is called "This is Serious," and I must address this now.
Only did you get the argument wrong.
He didn't, though. I mean, you're literally just backing up his point, because what he said is that when Republicans do fucked up things, Republicans defend them. And here you are saying, yeah, here's one fucked up thing after another, and you're here defending them and saying, actually, that's good.
But to the extent that you're making your other argument, that one's also wrong.
Trump has been bombing random dingy fishing boats with innocent people in them.
How do you know that?
Because he's bragging about it.
You really think? What about the submarine?
There was no submarine. But, I mean, actually attacking a military vessel is still an act of aggression.
Was that a fishing submarine, too?
There was no submarine.
Do you really think that they're blowing up? Really think that they're fishing boats?
Yes, actually. Yes. I mean, I love how he doesn't actually offer any argument here. All he does is just express disbelief. My guy would never just do fishing boats. I bet I made up that there was a submarine too.
This is an innocent fishing submarine. Don't you guys have those?
I mean, even if it were an actual naval vessel from Venezuela, that's still a fucking act of aggression.
With 4 motors on them. Yeah, and by the way, so let me get this straight. So the U.S. government can read a license plate with a satellite from outer space, but you think that a Twitter post that said that the people were innocent is more accurate than that?
Well, see, there is the possibility that you're just assuming that the argument is that this is being done by mistake. His eyebrows. He just raises his eyebrows and asks questions he doesn't care to know the answers to. Yeah, that's about right. Like, I mean, nobody's saying it's an accident that he's bombing these civilian vessels. Nobody's saying he's doing it by accident. The problem is that he's doing it on purpose. That's a crime. He should be extradited to Venezuela to face trial.
Sure.
And nobody on the right has been criticizing it at all.
Because they agree with it.
Well, that's his point. That's his fucking point, Askold. What if the eyebrow raising is like that guy who was held hostage in Lebanon and was blinking in Morse code? Maybe he's eyebrow raising in Morse code and he's being held hostage by somebody who's forcing him to say the most asinine things on the internet.
Because it's the right thing to do.
Well, I mean, then, like, fuck you, actually.
It is. Absolutely. Blow up the boats. Without even a question. How could you be against that?
Because I'm not a fucking ghoul.
I mean, these are people that are trying to bring drugs to our country.
I mean, there's absolutely no evidence of it, and it doesn't even fucking make sense. Because Venezuela, like, literally, I mean, the head of the international UN body in charge of coordinating anti-drug trafficking efforts, has gone on the record just calling this a hoax and pointing out that Venezuela actually gets very good marks from the UN body in charge of this for their cooperation. And in fact, like in the last annual report for 2024 on on international drug trafficking, Venezuela wasn't even mentioned in the thing because they are an importer. They aren't an exporter. The U.S. government has been lying about Venezuela for like nearly 20 years now. No, for over 20 years now. And it's only since Trump got in that this lie about Venezuela being a fucking source of drug imports to the U.S. has been a thing at all.
That are going to kill our people. If I saw somebody running at my house with a bomb, I would want to shoot them before they got to my house.
On the other hand, if he saw somebody running to his house with a bag of blow, I think he would want to hug them.
I wouldn't want to try to apprehend them, arrest them, and try to put them through a whole process. No, you just fucking shoot them.
Wait, so, okay. So, you just believe in sort of randomly killing people. Okay, so, I thought I'd heard that he was objecting to violence a second ago.
And he'd do the same thing.
Also, it's funny how it's just become a bomb. I mean, we're talking... Even if we accept the absolute lie that this is, the argument is that they're bringing blow into the country. They're bringing coke. Which, unlike a bomb, is something that is willingly, enthusiastically, one might add, consumed by a whole lot of people and keeps Wall Street running.
They've all been lying and pretending these are narco-terrorists and Trump...
They're lying. Okay.
Yes, they're lying. Isn't that so wild how sometimes people lie, Askold?
Where's the argument that they're
killing the right people and stuff? This is insane. This is insane.
It's insane. Okay. Well,
yeah, I mean, it is.
That's
it's
a good argument for why they're not narco-terrorists.
Well, see, maybe there should be evidence provided that they are. Maybe they should actually provide evidence of their claims. You don't just assume that something is true because some asshole says it.
Yeah, no, I'm sure the fish...
I mean, I love how when we're talking about whether pediatric cancer research deserves to be funded, you need to make a detailed argument about why children getting cancer is bad. He won't accept anything less than a detailed moral and scientific argument about why it is indeed bad for kids to get cancer and go untreated and, you know, die of it. But when it comes to self-serving claims about civilian fishing vessels that the U.S. has been blowing up in terrorist attacks, well, some asshole said it, so, I mean, who are you to disagree with some asshole? He said it with no evidence. Like, why could you possibly be disagreeing with him? Because he said he had the no evidence.
Submarine, it was just a bunch of, you know, like, poor innocent Venezuelans who were just trying to get by, and they only had enough money to cobble together for one submarine. And you know what they say, right? You got to fish where the fish are. And so they had to go...
Like, seriously, this guy is such a fucking ghoul.
Go underwater to get the fish.
Even if they were...
okay, so even if they were...
Yeah, even if they were. So, like, okay, so if, like, a fucking... Like, let's say, Askold, just sake of argument, let's say there is a coke dealer living near you. I would not be surprised because I think this motherfucker probably is not completely averse to the white powder. It's something about him that just tells me he probably wouldn't say no. Instead of, I don't know, say, getting search warrants and arresting him and trying him on the various fucked up drug laws that we have, what he's saying we should actually do is fire Tomahawk missiles at his house.
Right. Okay. So now we've already shifted.
No, we haven't shifted. He's just pointing out that you don't attack civilian fucking vessels.
We've already shifted from, no, there's no way this is the case. But if it was the case, okay.
Well, okay, this is hilarious because he's literally just done this like 3 times himself, where he says, yeah, it's actually, who says that it's bad not to fund cancer research in children? But, you know, even if it were bad not to fund cancer research in children, I still think maybe there might be arguments in favor of defunding it. I don't know of any, but I'm sure they must exist, and therefore I'm going to defend this decision. He's done this like 5 times now, and now he's like, oh, wait a second, this guy's arguing the alternative. Only I get to do that.
Okay, here we go.
Trafficking narcotics,
yes.
The penalty is not instant death. Are you...
Yeah, it is.
No, it isn't. Well, like, I mean, in Malaysia...
And if it's not, it should be.
Really?
How about that?
I mean, that sucks. That's fucked up, actually. I mean, ask your dealer how he feels about this. Hello, Anti-Dust YZ.
Oh my... Yeah, why not?
Because that's fucked up, actually.
Really? Why not? Who gonna stop us? Yeah, exactly.
Well, I mean, it should be interesting to see because a lot of people, I mean, Yemen stopped the U.S.
Fuck them.
My God, we're only 24 seconds into a 2-minute clip. I don't know if I can fucking get through this.
I'm only 3 minutes into his clip. I don't know.
I'm only 11 minutes and 45 seconds into his clip, and we've almost watched the entire, done the entire stream for tonight.
If I can get through this either.
I don't know if I might like fucking have an aneurysm on air.
Like, oh, it's not that big of a deal. It doesn't matter that much. Who cares? And I think that has radicalized a lot of people. And yes. I'll view that, and we can contrast this now. Which you remember whenever they had all those text.
All he does is move his eyebrows.
Leaks, and it was all those young Republican people talking about how much they liked Hitler. And
yeah, well, yeah.
Nobody.
You know, the guy who asked Gold said that he only burned all the archive of research on trans people because it was written in Jewish. Yeah, exactly. I mean, isn't it interesting how hundreds of people a year get killed trying to cross the southern border because all the safe ways to get across it have been walled off well before Trump. Trump does not get, that was Clinton, a lot of that. I mean, Trump has made it worse, but it was already the deadliest peacetime land border in the world. And somehow, so it is an extremely militarized border, extremely difficult to cross, even if you do have the proper paperwork. And yet somehow there's never any trouble getting cocaine into this country. Somehow, no matter what happens, the cocaine supply is guaranteed.
Cared about that anymore, and the reason why...
I haven't heard any tariffs being slapped on cocaine either. Trump knows his people.
Because left-wing people have established basically a standard, and now right-wing people are living up to it.
Okay, I mean, as a left-wing person, I have to say, I have not actually seen right-wing people living up to it, any standard that I know of that I would actually have supported.
He flipped the truth exactly on its head.
Okay.
This is insane.
Yeah.
It's been the exact opposite. My entire adult life, it's been the opposite. There was literally a slogan that the Democrats had about how much we're pussies.
Just one?
Michelle Obama came out and said, when they go low, we go high.
I mean, that was one of the various slogans. In fact, there is a whole genre of slogans from the Democratic Party about how they do nothing useful.
That dominated a generation of Democratic thought.
Well, fortunately, it was only the generation of like people around the DNC.
Then why'd you guys burn down all the stuff in BLM?
The Democrats, why did the Democrats burn down all the stuff in BLM? Why did Kyle Kulinski burn down all the stuff in BLM. Like, what? That, you think that was the Democratic Party, do you, Askold? Well, I mean, and what's wild about this is he just got done saying how if you even think that somebody on a fishing boat in Venezuelan territorial waters might have drugs on board, you're allowed to blow it up. But he's acting all pearl clutchy because people burnt down police stations. Well, they destroyed one. They tried to destroy several throughout the country, where they knew for a fact that torture and murder were being carried out on a pretty much daily basis. I mean, by your own standard there, the one where, you know, if the vibe is off, you have to... I haven't got a fucking rhyme, so, I mean, if the vibe is off, you have to fucking blow them up. By that standard, I mean, I don't think you can actually object to the destruction of the 3rd Precinct, which, it's worth noting, polled better than either presidential candidate that year or since.
Why'd you burn down the Teslas? That doesn't sound like going high. Maybe.
Well, no, yeah, I mean, it doesn't sound like that, and also, like, fuck going high. I don't think he's endorsing the slogan, but I also don't think that it was Charlie Schumer out there burning the Teslas. I mean, that I would love it if it was. That fundraising email would be great.
Getting high, but not going high. So because Michelle Obama said something, now everything that Democrats do is automatically good.
That literally isn't what he said. That, like, I mean, that literally was not what he said.
Well, why didn't I think of that?
They go low, we go high.
I mean, you kind of did think of it.
Yeah.
And then what happened? The Republicans decided to shatter the filibuster record under Obama. Obama literally came out and said, I'm going to propose your ideas, Republicans. I'm going to do the things you say you love.
Yeah, which sucked.
I'm going to do a healthcare plan that came from the Heritage Foundation, a right-wing think tank, and Mitt Romney, the Republican, did it in Massachusetts as the governor. I'm going to do your plan.
Uh-huh.
And
yeah, I mean, this sucks.
Republicans had previously all supported this plan.
I think the Republicans treated Obama too harshly, too. Honestly, I just...
Wow. There we go. Obama endorsed by Askold. Like, that is like the... No condemnation from me can ever be as much of a blot on Obama as an endorsement from fucking Askold.
I totally agree with this. I think the Republicans, like, they stopped them from appointing Merrick Garland as Supreme Court Justice, which I think Obama did have the purview to do.
Well, that's very big of you, since the Constitution does say that presidents get to nominate Supreme Court justices. So yes, he did have the purview to do that.
His entire tenure as being president.
Oh, wow. Even, we've got one of his comments goes, Obama healthcare giving money to insurance companies. Fun. Like, everybody hates insurance companies.
That did happen. Like, I mean, he's right.
Even the people who watch this crap. Like, the most noxious slop I've ever seen. Even his viewers are like, yeah, fuck insurance companies, actually.
About this. Yeah, absolutely.
Obama proposed it. We're against it. We're against it. How dare you?
I think the ACA was bullshit. And I think that the best way to tell that the ACA was bullshit is that all these different insurance companies had their fucking stock go way up after it got passed.
Yeah, I mean, Christ. You do not have to like, the one time... okay, I will say, because I don't intend to hand anything to this guy, because he probably does not wash his hands. He probably does not wipe his ass, either. But didn't I just say, like, not a minute ago, see what I'm talking about? Everybody fucking hates the insurance industry. Like, literally, this is, if you just, if you brought everybody together who hates health insurance companies, and they've certainly given me new reasons to hate them recently, you would actually, the group of people who would not be participating in that group hug would be small enough, probably, to fit in a few buses.
The Affordable Care Act, Obamacare, was the main thing that Obamacare was caring for were the insurance companies and private healthcare companies.
Christ, like it's like the one time it's fascinating to me. This motherfucker does no research. He has clearly never read a book. Certainly you could see no evidence of reading anywhere in his fucking room here. You can see more evidence of, like, fucking decaying carcasses and filth in his room than you can see of him actually, you know, fucking reading. But on this one thing, he's got his facts straight. Everybody hates insurance companies. And with that thought, wow, this is what I'm actually going to be ending this stream on. So it's time for me to wrap up. Thank you to everyone who joined in. I hope you enjoyed the stream. And if you're new around here and you'd like to keep in touch in between streams, let me just give you the link to my Discord channel. And I will be back at 11:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time next Friday, and I look forward to seeing you all then. Have a good rest of your weekend, everybody.